What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. Today we got the season 6 official patch notes. I will have multiple videos going up today, so if you find this video helpful and informative, don't forget to sub. But let's jump into it. There's some brand new attachments for the shotguns. The first one is called the Lockwood 300 Maelstrom dual trigger. This is going to be a cold hammer forged dual trigger that fires both rounds simultaneously with devastating results. They also did a lot of weapon balance changes. So for the SMGs, the Lockman Shroud, they reduced the upper torso damage, the mid-far distance damage, and they also increased the close mid-distance damage. And this is for Modern Warfare 2 only. So they do have a Warzone one, which I'll cover in just a second, but the Mini-Bach increased close distance damage and the damage range. For the ARs, the Cast-Off 7.62 reduced close distance damage as well as the close damage range, and they increased the mid-range damage. For the FR Advancer, they increased the damage range. The battle rifles, the Cronin Squall got a little bit of a buff, increased the damage range. The Lockman 7.62, the SO14, and the TAC-V all ended up seeing the same thing. For the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer, the shotguns, the Bryson 800 reduced the far damage, Expedite 12 increased the mid damage range, and then the MX Guardian reduced close damage range. For the marksman rifles, the Tempest Torrent got reduced close damage range, reduced close distance, and reduced damage to the legs. The Lockwood got a huge buff with the increase to the mid damage range, close distance, damage to the upper arm, improved sprint out time, and increased the hip movement speed. Then for the SAB-50, they improved the sprint out time, improved the ADS time, reduced the moving hip spread, increased the far damage range, and then for the SPR, they increased the mid damage range. Now, these are all the Warzone weapon balance changes. So for the ARs, the Chimera lower torso damage multiplier has been increased, so small buff. The FR Advancer also got a small buff with the limb damage multipliers increased. The ISO Hemlock got a nerf. Neck damage multiplier decrease, upper torso damage has been decreased. The Cast-Off 7.62 got a huge nerf, looks like probably the biggest one. Close damage decrease, close damage range decrease, head damage multiplier, neck damage multiplier, and the upper torso multiplier all have been decreased. The M13B also got a huge nerf. Close damage decrease, close damage range, close mid damage, and the mid damage itself has been reduced. The M13C, the close damage increase, lower limb damage multipliers have been increased. The M16 is going to be close damage increase, lower torso damage multipliers increase, and the limb damage multipliers increase. Then for the battle rifles, the Cronin Squall got another nerf, and that's the mid damage range has been decreased. The FTAC Recon got a buff with the neck damage, torso damage, and limb damage getting increased. The Lockman 7.62 got a buff with the close damage, neck damage, torso, and limb damage all increased. The SO14 with the close damage, close mid damage, and far damage all have been increased. The TAC-V also saw a buff with the close damage range, and close mid damage range all being increased. And then going on to the handguns, the Basilisk saw a close mid damage increase, mid far damage increase, and far damage increase, so a buff overall. And then the FTAC Siege got a slight nerf with the head damage multiplier and the lower torso multiplier decrease. Then you have the GS Magna, close damage decrease, but the mid damage has been increased. The upper torso damage has been decreased with the limb damage multiplier decrease. Then for the P890, we got the mid damage increase, far damage increase, lower torso damage increase, and limb multiplier increase, so a buff for that. The X12 also saw a buff with the close mid damage, the neck damage, the torso, and the lower limb damage all being increased. The 9mm saw a nerf with the neck damage, torso, and arm damage being decreased. And then the .50 GS, close damage increase, mid damage, and far damage increase, so it saw a buff. Going on to the shotguns for the Bryson 800, close mid damage range has been increased. Bryson 890 close damage range decreased with the mid damage range, and mid far damage all have been decreased, so that's a big nerf. The Lockwood 300 saw a buff with the lower torso damage and limb damage being raised. The MX Guardian also got to see a buff with the close damage, the close mid damage, the mid far damage, and far damage all being increased. For the sniper rifles, the Karak 300 saw close mid damage increase, far damage increase, lower torso damage multiplier increase, and limb damage multipliers increase. The Signal 50 got a nerf with the neck damage and upper torso being reduced. The SPX close damage and mid damage and upper torso damage all been increased, so it got a buff. And then for the submachine gun, so it looks like they changed every weapon. The Bass piece saw another buff with the neck, torso, and limb damage all being raised. The Fennec got a balance change, so close damage, mid damage all been raised. The headshot multiplier damage raised, but the neck damage to the multiplier has been reduced, with the upper torso damage being reduced. The Lockman Shroud got semi-auto damage decrease, burst fire head damage multiplier increase, burst fire neck damage multiplier increase, and the upper torso width for the burst also been increased. The Minibot got one change with the mid damage being raised. The MX9 neck damage, torso damage, and limb damage have been raised. So that's everything that you need to know. There's also weapon bug fixes, which I'll go ahead and screenshot for you guys. But other than that, they also have raised the level cap. So the final prestige level is now going to be 1,250. And once again, you will get the Shadow Milsim operator if you end up reaching that level. But the max rank is going to be prestige 25 from now on. Going on, there's going to be a whole lot of global bug fixes. I don't want to make the video way too long, so that's what these bug fixes are, but I'll screenshot them. Feel free to pause it if you want to see, but they usually aren't really that big of changes. And then download, it says the Season 6 download file size will be larger than our normal seasonal updates, includes all of Season 6 content, as well as preparing for upcoming Modern Warfare 3 beta, so this might be a very, very massive update. Then there's the Special Ops. They ended up doing some bug fixes for that. Not too big of changes, just two different things, and that had to do with Adamgrad and something with a calling card. Then they ended up introducing the brand new map, so La Casa is now available in-game. You also have Coro Village, which is also now available in-game. They provide photos of these maps. They did also add Fight as well as King to the Gunfight map playlist, so that's what it's going to look like. There's also some bug fixes, so they fixed the issue that caused faction showdown vehicle challenges to track incorrectly, fixed the issue where Snoop Dogg operator didn't appear correctly in some private matches, fixed the issue with the ISO 45 could display a placeholder image when customizing loadouts in private matches, fixed an issue where a UAV killstreak pings enemy locations in between scans on multiplayer maps. And then for the ranked play, so they did some competitive settings for that. I don't want to talk too much about it, but there's new restrictions. So the TR76 guys, the new ISO 9, as well as the dual commas, and then everything else that was restricted in the past is still restricted now. And then that's pretty much it. And then there's also free rewards that you can get, which is the screenshot here that they have provided by completing challenges and things like that. So the challenges are get 5 wins, 10 wins, 25 wins, 50 wins, 75 wins, and 100 wins to end up getting these rewards in Modern Warfare 2. Go on to the next thing. They have shown us the playlist updates for this week. So we have ranked Al-Mazrah trios, Al-Mazrah quads, Vandal quads, map rotation solos, Resurgence Vandal quads, map rotation in solos, duos, and trios, Armored Royale and Al-Mazrah quads, Plunder and Al-Mazrah quads. As a reminder, we'll continue to rotate modes in and out of the playlist on a weekly basis. And then for the gameplay, Al-Mazrah's Champion Quest reward, a new assault rifle weapon blueprint called Flow Through is now available for players to earn via the Champion Quest on Al-Mazrah. Once we get photos and things like that, I'll showcase that for you guys. The Signals Intelligence contract, this contract has been re-enabled, reduced the number of contracts to hack to 2, down from 3. Supply box loot behavior. We've improved the behavior and visibility of additional loot drops on the ground out of supply drops. Buy station limited road. The PRD has been replaced with a medic plate carrier, which costs 4,000. Reinforcement flares have been increased to 7,000 from the original 5,000. And then they also did some bug fixes, which there's like a total of 4 of them. Then going on for the Warzone ranked play side of things, they have the same exact set of restrictions. Nothing has changed. And the challenges for the rewards are finish top 15, finish top 5, and finish first place for the placement challenges. Then there's kill and assist challenges, get 25 kills, 100 assists or kills, and then get 500 kills or assists. So that's all the challenges there to get those other rewards. And then everything that you need to know in regards to DMZ here. And this is going to be prepare for the haunting to come to DMZ. Haunting is a few weeks away, and that means DMZ will also be plunged into darkness. Everything featured in the Haunting for Battle Royale will be available in DMZ as well. So for those guys who prefer playing that, you'll get to do that. And they said infill now and practice with your squad. And here's some adjustments that they have done. Assimilation now allows a maximum of 4 players per team. Players can now use their own dog tags to barter in DMZ. Hostages can no longer be dropped on dirt bikes. Hostages can now be extracted in drivable exfil helicopters. Reduce the frequency of kill streaks found in loot. Surviving a hunt squad contract now grants a UAV immediately to the hunted squad. Adjusted a number of DMZ buy station prices. Munition boxes from 1,000 to 5,000. Gas mask from 2,000 to 3,500. Medium backpack from 5,000 to 6,500. Large backpacks from 30 to 50,000. 3-plate vests from 35 to 65. JLTV airdrops from 18 to 75, UAV from 12 to 100, advanced UAV from 12 to 200, precision from 12 to 30, cluster strike from 12 to 30, and revive pistol from 75 to 10,000. So I guess they made it harder to get every kill streak and every item, and then they did some bug fixes, and that is pretty much everything you need to know in regards to this brand new update. So it seems like the majority of the update is going to be coming in during the mid-season, which is going to be on October 17th. But what are your thoughts and opinions on this update? Make sure you guys subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest Call of Duty news and updates. I will have another video going up later today. But it's been your boy Chidzo. Hopefully I'll be seeing you guys again. Peace.